second graders. Welcome back to math today. Today is Module 8, Lesson 5. And today we're going to be looking at squares and cubes. And then we're going to kind of learn how to describe the attributes of a square and a cube. Okay, so if you want to follow along with me, this is what I'm using today. If you have toothpicks in your cabinet, you don't need very many of them. I found this old little jar that was left over in our cabinet. And then you need something that will work to hold your toothpicks together. So my book says you can use little pieces of clay. Yes, you can have a few. Or sticky tack. You can. Will you do this with me? Or what I'm using, I found like some mini marshmallows in the cabinet. Those will work. I think raisins might even work. Yeah, so you just something that will be able to hold your toothpicks together. So,
tape?
The first thing that I did, tape might even work if you have tape. Good suggestion, Sophia.
We have lots of tape.
We do. The first thing I did was I built, let me show them please. I built a square. And
I'm going to build right.
Look at my square that I've built here. Now, if you're building along with me, you can pause me right now and you can make one too. If you're just going to watch and not build, that's fine. I've built a square. Now, how many sides does this square have?
4.
That's right, it has 4. Okay? This square has 4 straight sides, and the special thing about this square, because it is a rectangle because it's got those 4 straight sides and all the corners make those perfect L's, those right angles. But the special thing about a square is all of its sides are the same length. Now I know that all of the sides of this are the same length because I used the same toothpick, so every toothpick in this container is the same. So this is a square. It has 4 square corners. But it could be called a polygon, right? Because it's a many-sided shape. It could be a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides. We call it a rectangle. We call it a parallelogram because this side is parallel to this side, and then this side is parallel to this side.
Mommy?
And it's a square, and it's actually even a trapezoid too.
Candy can work.
Yeah, so, Sophia wants you to know that if you had some candy, that might work too, like some gummy, some little fruit gummies or something. Yeah, everything works. Okay, so this is a square. Now, a cube, and I just realized I didn't get a cube out, but you guys know what a cube looks like, right? A cube would be like a dice. Those are the shape of a cube. There's lots of little boxes that are the shape of a cube. Now, you can use a square to build a solid shape that has equal edges. And so if I wanted to build, I could totally build a cube with more toothpicks and marshmallows. So I'm going to angle my camera and let's see if I'm even able to do this. You guys are going to laugh because it's probably, let's see here. Hang on, Soph. All right. I'm going to need another edge here and another edge here and another edge here and then another edge here, and then I just realized I'm gonna need, let's see, how many marshmallows? I guess this cube is gonna have a total of 8 corners. Let me see here. I think it is going to work. That's good. Again, if you're just watching, that's all good. If you are doing this alongside me and you need to pause, that is fine too, but you are not required to build this unless you want to. Okay, there is my cube. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. That's better. Okay, so look at my cube here. Now, when we call them sides on a square, like we called that a side, on a cube, we're not going to call that a side. We're going to call that an edge. So that's your first vocabulary word today, an edge. So let's see how many edges this cube has. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 edges just on this top face. Then it has these vertical ones, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then on the bottom there is 9, 10, 11, 12. This cube has 12 edges. So now if we had this where we could mark on it, which we really can't, we could count and we could mark as we went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. Now, thank you, Sophia, honey. Let me show them mine, okay? I know you want them to see yours. I'll let you show it at the end, okay? So this cube has 12 edges. Now, where is the next thing I was going to show you about? There's something, though, that this cube is missing. This cube is missing because it kind of looks like a skeleton cube. It doesn't have what we call the faces. So on a square, a lot of times people will mistakenly call on a cube, they'll call this a side. But this is actually a face. And this is a face, 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 and then the bottom is a face. And so we would need paper to create a face for our cube. So what I could do then is, if I wanted to create the face, I think I could set it on here, right? And then I could draw it. And that wouldn't be perfect. But this would be the face for my cube. Can you see that? Here, I'm going to just kind of tear it out because I don't really want to go get scissors right now. But I'm going to show it to you. Yep, that's the one you did. Okay. So this now would be one of the faces. So that would be like the bottom face. And so I would need one of these square faces to cover up all of these, and I'd have to cut out a bunch of them. How many would I have to cut out? How many faces does this cube have? It has the bottom and the top, and that's 1, 2. And then it's going to have all around 3, 4, 5, 6. So this cube has 6 faces. How many edges did we say it had again? Do we remember? Did it have 12 edges? So it has 6 faces, 12 edges. How many corners? To count the corners, remember we count these like little marshmallows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my cube has 8 edges. Now you're going to notice on your problem set today, let me turn this back so you can see me. You're going to notice on your problem set today, they love it, Sophia, that you need to write this stuff down. It's going to ask you to write what the shape is that could be the face of a cube, and the only one of those shapes is right. And then you got to name the shape. And then it wants to know how many faces a cube has, how many edges, and how many corners. So that's the first part of today's lesson, was this. And you don't, like I said, you don't have to build this. You could just, if you have a cube in your house somewhere, you could just use that. Okay? Now, the second part of today's lesson, we're going to actually move to a piece of paper. So, Sophia, I'm going to scoot you, I'm going to scoot you down here, and I am going to draw for them on my piece of paper. And we're going to learn how to draw a three-dimensional shape. I think that's the first time I mentioned that today. A cube is a three-dimensional shape. It's not flat like a square is. It's actually has height to it. So it has that third dimension. Okay, so to draw the cube on a piece of paper, step one is you first need to draw a square. Just the best square you can draw. We don't need to use a straight edge. Just try to make all four sides the same size. Okay, so there's my square. So this part of the lesson I do want you to do. You can do it on a piece of scrap paper. You can do it on on a page that you're not using in your book or in a little place on your book somewhere. But draw your square and pause me if you need to. And so then after we've got our square, here's what you want to do. You want to go up above that top side of the square and about in the middle. And then you want to draw a line that comes out longer.
Mama, I made a diamond.
Like that. Yeah. Okay, do you see how I did that there? All right, now that you've got that, the second thing we want to do is we want to let's go to this corner here, and you want to come down to about there. Okay, the third thing we do now is we're going to connect it. So we are going to connect from this corner right here to that. We're going to connect this corner of the square here to that. And now, can you see we have that top face now of a cube? Then you're going to come over here and you're going to connect this right here like that.
Look.
Now, yeah, now I can see this face, and this face. Now, this is what a cube would look like if you were looking at it, but I'm only seeing 3 faces. That's because we can't, in our picture, you can't see the other faces. They're there. But there's one underneath on the bottom, and if this is sitting like on a table, perhaps, we can't see it because it's sitting there on the table. And then there's the other faces on the other 2 sides. So 3 of the faces we can see, 3 of the faces we can't see. So today, what you're going to do is you are going to practice drawing a cube following those steps, just like I did on your problem set. In fact, they give you 6 different places to draw cubes, and then they want you to look at the way that they've oriented their cubes, and they want you to connect the lines to make it be a cube. So you'll just get a lot of practice today at drawing a cube and noticing the attributes. And by attributes, remember, we're talking about the faces. We are talking about, my vocabulary go here, the edges, and the corners. So remember, the corners were my marshmallows. Now, in this cube that I drew, though, you can only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you know there's one more back there, right? You just can't see it because you can't see through the cube. So those are my corners. Those were my marshmallows. My edges were my toothpicks. Remember that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but we can't see them all in this picture. Because I remember when I built it, remember how many I had? Right? This picture sort of turned like this, and you can't see that back side. And then faces.
I had this too.
So remember, this is a, no, it doesn't. This is a face. This whole square here is a face. So in this picture, we can only see 1, 2, 3 faces, but we've already talked about that the other ones are on the other side and underneath, and we can't see them. Okay, happy math today. You're going to, of course, you've done your sprint, and now you're doing your 2 problem set pages. All right, see you later.